Hi, this is David Sheppard for my second vlog. I'm post playtest from Panduiki, as well as getting ready to test the second concept, which is Zoo to Man. The first playtest of Panduiki went fairly well. The main issues that popped up are, of course, balance, ways to push through the different signs, different stages, and basically finding a quicker end of game condition. Several of the abilities didn't really get used all that much, and then players just generally felt that it needed to move along and be rebounced. So it's not to say that it's a bad game, but it's just the typical first shot at a trick-taking game, let's see how this goes. Now, having said that, whether or not I go forward with Panduiki is based heavily upon the input of the next two concepts, as well as if I really think I can take this competition, win it with just a trick-taking game. After all, it's a game design contest, which means they want to see brand new and innovative concepts. And here's my trick-taking game where you're sacrificing maidens to a dark god. Now, I will say that one of my concerns going forward with Panduiki is, even though that it's kind of heralding back to the old pulp fiction, like movies like King Kong and such, there is a little bit of a, I don't want to call it misogynistic, but sacrificing maidens on an altar, and not everybody's going to get that theme. So, also may have to back down for that regard. However, the concept I'm going to test today at launch is called Zoo to Man, currently. And it's basically a card-style game to where you're buying new cards to put down into your zoo in order to score the most points at the end of the game. Now, the cards are broken up into three sections, and I know it's going to seem a little bit confusing considering how the cards are presented. I was just rapidly prototyping just to see if it's a concept that's even worth pursuing. So this is the basic style card, and as you can see, it has a section for zebras, a section for koalas, a section for apes. Down here it will tell you how much this card cost in order to play, and down here, well, that's not a good example. Sorry, still building it. Okay, yeah, here we go. And down here is the victory point conditions. They'll look a bit like a billboard, so to speak. So the way the phases will work is the first thing you do is determine who's the start player based on how much prestige they have. And I'll go over that later. But whenever you play a card, it goes down like this in front of your queue, and then later on you can play a card on top or to the side to a maximum of 3 rows. So whenever you place them on top, you're basically connecting pens and creating a more elaborate zoo. However, you're also trying to connect the same type of pens to make the largest pens of the various animals. So this would not be a very good example. But side by side, the zebra pen gets a little bit larger, and you're going to be trying to finish a row of 3 cards 4 deep in order to complete your zoo. You're going to score your highest number pen for any given animal, and then you're going to lose points for having a secondary pen or a third pen for the same type of animal. So in this case, this would be 1 point, but I would lose a point for over here. This cost section will also tell you who gets the panda, which whenever you get the panda, it's kind of a rotating figure and it's got a little bit of prestige. Now, if you end the round with the panda, you get a little bit bonus points, but just by playing a card with the panda, you're going to get 1 point. These points can also be spent in order to substitute for, like, say, here's the cost of one card. Let's say you have no spare cards in hand. You can spend prestige in order to build this pen. And then finally, there are the billboards. Now, whenever a stack is completed, 4 cards down, you can, instead of building a new zoo pen, build a billboard, which you place this card face down, covering this section, and then it becomes a hidden victory point condition, so nobody knows what your extra conditions are at the end of the game. So here you have 3 points for every hippo region. And in general, that's the basic concept. Of course, there's things like, how do you get more cards? Well, you're also going to have tours going through your zoo. And the tours will start out on a card of your choice and a pen of your choice. And then during the card draw phase, you can move them from one pen to the other. And then based on the chart, it will tell you which animals that the tourists may see that are worth the most points. And naturally, the size of the pen doesn't really matter. It's just what type of animal they're wanting to see. So that's Zoo to Man, and hopefully it plays well.